Dark by Design may contain graphic and/or explicit content. Audience discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to Dark by Design, the podcast where two creative gals share stories of the macabre to then pick them apart before the nightmares start. Thank you so much for joining us today. The intro may sound a little different than normal because it is. Beverly and I streamed for the first time on our Twitch channel, which you can find at darkbydesignpodcast on Twitch if you're interested. But we did our first live show, had a blast. And, we didn't realize we weren't recording until we were about halfway through the intro. So here I am doing a little bit of an opener and a hello and a welcome to the show for everyone. That being said, even though we did have some troubleshooting issues during our live stream, it is what it is when you have a live show going on. But thank you so much for the support and the troubleshooting help. And just being there to support us and having a great time in chat. We're planning on continuing our Twitch streaming. We would like to stream at least once a month. Once we have the next stream date, we'll let you know. We'll post it on all of our social medias. We'll mention it in recordings. And then we can all hang out and, have friendship and such. It'll be so much fun. I can't wait to see you all there again. But without further ado, let me take you to the exact moment when Beverly realized we weren't recording. Enjoy.
I forgot to hit record.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's recorded on Twitch's end. We'll figure it out.
It's fine.
Anyway, moral of the story. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties today and figuring this is our first stream, okay? So don't get on our backs about it.
Yeah,
but
just
more
hop off, man.
Yeah, we're setting things up. No, it's all good. If you'd like to learn more, you can find more information, photos, and videos on today's topic on the show's website at www.darkbydesignpodcast or by following us on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok at darkbydesign_podcast. Also linked in the description, or you can also find it on our website as well. You can find us individually on our socials. You can find Beverlocks on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube with Beverlocks with 2 S's. And you can find the cat, my name is Rachel, at Miss Quirk with 2 Ks on Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. How very exciting. And if you would like to continue to support the show and us as content creators, the number one way is telling your friends and family about us, because word of mouth really helps the show grow and will give us more opportunities to make more fun things for the future. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're listening on streaming platforms, go ahead and rate us 5 stars and tell us your spookiest story that you had for Halloween this year, because we would love to hear it. Also, what was your costume? Yeah. Oh my God, you had one? Tell me. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, maybe not for Halloween.
That's okay.
Let's see.
Tell me a spooky story.
A spooky story? All
right.
right.
I don't want to sleep.
You don't want to sleep? All right.
No.
Let me tell you about my story in Connecticut. So after college, I moved to Connecticut because I thought it'd be a great idea to move in with my shitty ex-boyfriend. So I was in the apartment alone for almost a week, I want to say. And for my job, I was driving from Hartford, Connecticut to Boston, Massachusetts, which was a drive. It was about 90 minutes one way. So that was a lot of driving.
For sure.
To do that bullshit. So I was staying there, and the first night was fine. The second night was spooky, to say the least. All I had was the mattress. So I was in bed. I was laying down. I was about to go to bed. I had Supernatural playing in the background, which horrible idea if you're alone.
Yeah, true.
And just to set the scene, I lived on the second floor, but the way the apartment was set up was the first floor is technically 2 floors, and it had a giant restaurant with really high factory ceilings essentially. So my floor was on the 3rd floor, but I was technically the 2nd floor. Also, security guard key fob to get in and out of the apartment, as well as in and out the elevator and staircase.
Wow.
You had to do like 3 different things to even get inside of the building. So, and then outside, it would only be like window washers and stuff that could reach the upstairs. There were no like the building was flat, so like no ridges or anything except for the windows, so you couldn't really climb up. Mm-hmm. So I fell asleep, and then around like 3 a.m, I started hearing on my fucking window. I was like, what? So I was so scared. I just stayed up the rest of the night. I was like, I'm just not gonna sleep. I'm not gonna sleep.
Was there Next night, a tree nearby?
No tree. There was nothing. Next night, same shit happened, and I was so scared. Ugh. But I went back to sleep that night. Okay. Third night, or fourth night, actually, I was just so tired of being woken up at 3:30 in the freaking morning that I screamed at it. I was like, stop! And it stopped knocking. And I was like, cool. I'm just gonna go to bed. When I woke up in the morning, every single door, drawer, whatever, was open in my apartment.
No, you're lying.
I was like, excuse me?
That's not a thing.
Excuse me? Excuse me? What? So, I was so terrified. I'm not joking. I wish I was lying. So, I woke up, and one thing I do before I go to bed, I can't do that now because we don't have doors, but the one thing I like to do is close my doors and check them and check the windows and check that the closet's closed, etc.
Yeah.
Everything was open. Everything was open.
Oh my god, so you would have closed it beforehand. I hate all of this.
Yeah. What? I went downstairs to the security guard. I asked if anyone like came in for my apartment because maybe someone broke in. He was like, nope, no one came in all night. I was like, so then I told my then boyfriend, and he didn't believe me. He was like, you're just making this up. You're stupid, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right.
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole. You suck. Don't ghostlight me.
Holy moly.
So then we were sleeping one night, and then he starts hearing clanging in the kitchen. Okay. And he shakes me awake. And he's like, Beverly, there's someone in the kitchen. Go check. I was like, I'm not fucking checking. You go check.
You check. Yeah.
What? You're going to send me? No. He's like, fine, let's go together. I was like, fine. Whatever. We went outside, like to the kitchen. So it's like a giant hallway. There's a room on the right. There's a bathroom on the left, and then another room on the left. And then there's like an open concept, like living room and kitchen. Mm-hmm. When we went outside, every pot and pan, which mind you, we didn't have that many, were lined up on the floor.
Ew!
And I was like, yeah, I'm moving out. I don't want to do this. I don't want to fucking do this. After that, though, there was like nothing else that happened at that apartment specifically. But yeah, that's my second story with someone knocking on the fucking window.
Oh my god, yeah.
At least it wasn't. Wow. Oh, what if it was St. Simon?
I hate it. Don't say that. Does he also touch like pots and pans and open doors and
He's
stuff?
He's not supposed to. God. I don't think so.
God, well, that's creepy as all heck. Well, heck, do you ever want to go and like revisit that apartment?
Yeah. I'll scream the whole way, but yeah, I'll do it.
I love it. Oh, dude, that's terrifying. But if you have any other spooky stories, please let us know. And if we have enough of them, we'll put together some stories on air and read them out loud. And for all of your fellow Coven members to hear your spooky event, which is pretty fun. We've also, speaking of supporting us, we've also launched a Patreon. And if you sign up for a Patreon, you get a bunch of amazing goodies and extras starting at the $5 level, including a thank you sticker and print, early access to extended episodes, and downloadable coloring pages that you'll absolutely love. All patron levels also have special access to our Discord, where we play games and talk the night away. And yay to friendship! Also, we love watching movies and playing games, and there's so much fun. It's a great time.
Full disclosure, we talk during the movies.
Absolutely. Oh,
we're those people.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We love to crack a joke whenever we can.
Shame.
Nope. Yeah, and supporting us on Patreon also helps to offset the cost of hosting and making the show. And we record and edit our own episodes, and your support means the absolute world to us. So thank you. Whatever form, we'll take it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I'm so excited. We're going to talk about vampires today.
I know. And speaking of support, we're only 2 months in. Well, I guess 3 months at this point. We're at 600 listens, which is wild, or downloads. We now have people from the Philippines. We have people from Japan. Hello.
Oh, exciting. Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
fun.
it's so exciting. And then we have even more people from Council Bluffs, Iowa. Shout out to you, baby boos.
Yo, Iowa, you making my heart feel real big. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're making my heart go, ow, that was bad. I'm sorry. That was so cringe. Okay.
I loved it now. Every moment of it. Yeah, you guys rocked. Yeah, we weren't expecting such like a large like support. I don't know, just a lot of people listening, or at least on this level, listening to us when we first started out. So thank you. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And
should we get into it?
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of which, you want to tell us your vampiric tale?
Yes. What if I told you that your dead loved one could come back from the dead to feast on the living? Would you believe me?
I would like to. That sounds kind of like metal as fuck.
Right? Avenge me, relative.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I could like sick grandma on like my enemies or something. It'd be awesome.
Instead of grandma got run over by a reindeer, grandma got run over by a tractor while trying to hex my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, really?
Actually, my grandma's still alive. She's in here somewhere. Hi, Grandma.
Oh, hi, Grandma. Thank you so much for watching, Grandma. Thank you for hexing our enemies. I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. But your support, nonetheless, is greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Well, to be frank, although it does sound pretty metal, the idea of a loved one coming back to feast on the living and hex our ex-boyfriends is kind of bananas. True. So, in this segment, I'll be telling you, I didn't recognize you, Bev. Do I look like a man? Would you believe it if I told you I was a man? Oh, okay. So, in this tale, I'll be telling you about the New England vampire panic of the 19th century. Ooh.
Oh, fun! There was a New England, like the U.S. New England. That's
New
a
England
question.
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
There was a vampire panic here.
Yeah. Like pretty close to the Salem witch trials, to be completely honest.
Way! Yeah. So we had witches and vampires. Yo, that's sick. Tell me about it.
New England is awesome. I wish I was born there. I'd be so spooky.
Dude.
Oh, well.
Do you want to like buy a Victorian mansion and live in it together?
Yes.
I just watched Practical Magic, and that's
Spook
the
B&B?
life I'm trying to live. Spook B&B. I would love that. Yeah.
So cute. I
Absolutely.
freaking love it. That'd be nice. Imagine living in an old house like that. It'd be haunted. I'd be scared a lot of the time, but I think I'd have a good time.
Oh, hell yeah. And
Yeah.
we can like make it into an Airbnb. It's like the Lizzie Borden house almost.
Okay, so we're going to be going through the timeline, some tales from around the time, and then address what was actually happening that led people to believe that there were vampires. Or were there actually vampires? We'll see. Yes, you look like a manhaha. What is a manhaha? Do you know what that is?
Grandma? I do not know.
What's a manhaha? Okay, I'll wait for the answer. But in the meantime, I'm going to set a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Picture it. It's the 1800s in New England. Mm-hmm. Many people are dropping like flies. One day, they seem fine. But the next day, they're sickly pale and lethargic and coughing up blood and just not looking too great. It's like magic. How can one person go from being lively and just fine to dying within the next couple of nights?
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Right? I would hate that. So, when this started happening, families were grasping at straws and looking for any explanation they could muster that would stick and hopefully make sense. I mean, maybe Edgar Allan Poe was onto something when he wrote The Masque of the Red Death.
Dude,
and now was acknowledged the presence of the Red Death. He had come like a thief in the night, and one by one dropped the revelers, and darkness and decay and the Red Death. Sorry, I lost my place. Held illimitable dominion over all. I mean, was he a fortune teller?
Dude. Man, and you included Poe into this? Dude, this
God,
is the best presentation ever.
He's fucking weird. I mean, the whole thing with his cousin.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
I hate that.
That was, yeah. But dude,
love the dude, though.
Very true. Love his stories. He's really
great storyteller. Yeah.
Yeah. Great way to incorporate him into this story, man.
Thank you.
You're hitting all the good, like, Halloween spooky beats. Perfect.
I was writing this and I was like, wasn't that story set like during this time? And then I went through and I reread it and I was like, damn, I didn't appreciate this enough in high school.
First in it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yoli Sama said, forgot to put the space. Oh, she said, you look like a man. Haha, not a man. My bad. Yes, I look like a man. Now I can pass. Now I can go to the grocery store and not be harassed. So,
oh, how
fun. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. So many people were probably asking themselves, was he a fortune teller? I mean, not even the wealthy were safe at this point. There are documented exhumations for the recently deceased starting from the late 1700s, trying to find explanations for the sudden deaths. But most of the documented cases aren't even the tip of the iceberg. There are so many, we'll get into it later, but basically a doctor wrote for like the Smithsonian magazine about it. Ooh. And said that there are a bunch of like unmarked graves with the same types of like injuries to the body when they were being exhumed. So we'll touch on that later. But yeah, so for example, I know in 1793, Rachel Burton was exhumed by her surviving husband in order to try and save his then wife, but to no avail. So technically, Rachel Burton died suddenly. She looked sickly, pale, had like almost no blood in her system, etc. Oh, and he noticed that when he remarried, he noticed that his then wife was exhibiting the same types of issues. So he exhumed his wife, or his old wife, tried to save his new wife, but then they both died.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
So he dug up his first wife in order to like find a cure or something and figure out what was going on.
That's exactly it. Yep.
Dang.
So in 1799, Sarah Tillinghast was exhumed, suspected of being a bloodthirsty vampire. No other notes about this. That's all it said. And then in 1810, Dr. Clough, Clough, again, I think it's Clough, but Dr. Clough in New Hampshire exhumed an unnamed corpse, and in his notes he stated that he thought it was consumption. However, he dug up the body anyway to put the family at ease by burning the heart. So we'll see the burning of different organs around this time. So it's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Love burning organs. And then in 1816, Samuel Saladay was exhumed in Ohio, which is, does Ohio count as New England? No, right?
No, that's the Midwest. Yeah.
So we can see how far this reached. So he was exhumed in Ohio, after which they burned his heart as a sacrifice so that the rest of the family would stop dying. This again did nothing, and the family still died. I think he was survived by one of his brothers, but the fact that his
No, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say I'm very shocked. Like physicians or whatnot are burning hearts. That's kind of very shocking to me.
Weird. Yeah, it's weird.
Like that's very folklorish.
It's very folklorish, which we'll touch on later.
Oh, how fun.
Very astute. I like your brain. It's very wrinkly. But lastly, we have the well-known Mercy Brown vampire incident of 1892 in Rhode Island. Have you heard of this, Rachel?
That sound, Mercy Brown. I've heard that name
Mercy
before.
Brown.
Yeah.
It's well known,
mm-hmm.
and it's like disturbing, I guess.
Ooh, fun!
In a sense. So, okay. Mercy Brown was the daughter of George and Mary Brown. They were a family of humble farmers with a terrible fate. Everyone kept dying.
Oh, God.
First, I know. Imagine. Like, imagine having a family of, like, 7 people, and then everyone's dead except you.
Yeah, no, that's
Sucks.
That's awful.
Sucks. First, his wife, Mary Brown, died in 1883 after succumbing to a mysterious illness. Then his daughter, Mary Olive Brown, which not at all confusing, 2 Marys in the same household, died 6 months later. It's like the, sorry, quick side note. It's kind of like Madame Delphine Lalaurie, how she had like 7 different kids named Marie.
Yeah.
How do you distinguish them?
Yeah, and then wasn't like Delphine, she also had a half-sister with her same name?
Yeah.
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 Like, why does everyone just repeat names? I have no idea.
What's the nickname for Delphine? Deli? Finn? I kind of like Finn.
Yeah.
I guess, I'll take it. So, yeah. So, let's see. Within a couple of years, his other 2 children, Mercy and Edwin Brown, suddenly became sick and frail, with Mercy ultimately falling to the mysterious illness as well. So Edwin was still alive at this point. He called in the village doctor, Dr. Harold Metcalf, each time, and was told that consumption was taking his family one by one. However, the villagers of Exeter, Rhode Island knew better than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is consumption, I believe consumption is the same as, shoot, what's it called? Tuberculosis, I believe.
Yes.
It is. TB? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It is TB.
Cool. Wow. So everyone was just like, the doctors were like, yo, it's tuberculosis, and everybody is like, nope, it's witchcraft.
Nah, it's vampires.
It's vampires, yeah, actually.
They're
Shut
like,
up, loser, it's vampires.
Doctors, please. What is medicine? Your medicine has done nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, first there was vampires, and then it's vaccines. Who knew, right? Who would have ever thought?
Who would have thunk?
That's wild.
Yeah. So, by then, vampire folklore in Eastern Europe was well known. The concept of these blood-sucking undead creatures originated in the late 17th and 18th centuries. And a lot of these villagers actually came from Europe. So even though the villagers that had settled along New England weren't specifically Eastern European, so like, I don't know, does Germany count as Eastern European? I'm going to say is Romania from, oh God, my public education is coming out again.
Yeah, I'm like, I got to look at a map.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that off by heart.
So basically,
yes,
Eastern Europeans, when they first came over, these are their relatives, I guess, like the people, their descendants. So a lot of that folklore was also passed down, and then as people come and visit, that folklore also starts, spreading around.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. Oh man, this is getting spicy. I want to know how this
spread of
turns out.
Communication is wild.
Yeah. Wow.
Ready?
At least it's not like, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
At least it's what? Sorry.
At least
there's
it's
a lag.
like, no, it's okay. Oh, I see. It's amazing that like there was even like a spread of misinformation like even hundreds of years ago, even without the internet. Who knew?
Who needs the internet when you have good old word of mouth?
For sure.
Okay, so with these folklores and tales being spread and passed down from generation to generation, the villagers obviously knew better than a medical professional. It's vampires. It had to be vampires.
Absolutely.
It took a lot of convincing, but they finally got George Brown to give in to the idea of exhumating his family.
So he didn't believe it to begin with either.
He completely believed the doctor. He was like, yep, it's consumption. It's consumption. It's like ravaging the entire country. I think by the end of the pandemic, tuberculosis essentially took out, I want to say 2% of the population.
Whoa.
Yep. Just in New England, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people, that's a lot.
Yeah, no, holy moly.
Yeah.
Whoa. So yeah, at this point they were just probably looking for answers because it was just so devastating. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting that into perspective. I didn't realize how like impactful tuberculosis was.
It's
holy
rough.
Moly.
Yeah. Was it also the Black Plague? Was that tuberculosis or was that something else?
Oh no, that's its own different.
That's its own thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was known as the White Plague because everyone turned white, essentially, like pasty white. So we have the Black Plague in England and then the White Plague in New England.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow, because they looked all gauntly white because they were
Yes.
Like, wow, that's so cool.
It's crazy.
I learned so much about our country that I never knew about.
I know. So cool. I didn't learn this in high school. What are you teaching in school? Schools?
Yeah. Teach something more fun.
Exactly. I don't need calculus or algebra. I want to learn about this.
Yeah, the good stuff.
The good stuff. Exactly. I guess that's kind of the cool. I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent. I guess that's kind of the cool thing about college. You can just kind of choose what you want to study. That's what I liked about it. But so on a cold spring night in March of 1892, a group of village men went to the Chestnut Hill Cemetery where George Brown's family was buried. They exhumed the bodies of Mary Olive, and Mercy Brown. Wow. The bodies of Mary and Mary Olive were examined first and were noted to have been properly decomposed. So, considering that they had been dead for almost a year, like 6 or 8 months,
okay,
they were at the proper level of decomposition of what was known back then.
So what was expected?
What was expected, yeah. So then they moved on to Mercy Brown. But
the most recent deceased.
Yes.
Okay.
Why did she look like she had just died? She had been dead for 2 months.
No.
Yeah. So the way they buried her is the way she looked when they brought her body back up, when they exhumed her. So people were freaking out. They were not happy about that. They were actually kind of disgusted and horrified.
Yeah.
And this kind of, I want to say it kind of like, it was kind of a dick measuring contest between the doctor and the villagers. And the villagers felt like they proved that their dicks were longer. You know?
Oh, go, no.
Because they're like, yeah, see? It's a vampire. It's a freaking vampire.
Yeah, just like putting like fuel to the fire. Oh, man, that's the worst in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But I was like shocked at like that he actually agreed to it. And I'm like over here like shocked that they're exhuming corpses. And he didn't give it to the punchline yet. Oh, my God.
I don't know if I were back then, like, and if you didn't have the knowledge that you have now, where like, yeah, if it's cold, a body's not going to decomp that quickly. Like once it gets hot, it's going to accelerate the process a lot, you know, but they didn't know that back then. So the fact that she looked like she was recently dead kind of mortified them.
Oh,
so,
for sure. Oh, yes. What time of year was it?
It was March. So she died in January.
Oh,
so
cold,
New England cold. Yeah. And I'm assuming back then, even when they bury people, like for funerals, they would still embalm them, probably. I want to say, I don't know when that was invented. I'm going to say it was the 1800s. Sounds right. Because otherwise you just have disgusting smelling bodies in the ground and everything just smelled like shit everywhere. So I'm going to hope that they knew how to embalm back then.
That's fair. I actually, fun facts. I want to say like the whole, like our, like how the U.S. views like funeral rites and like embalming practices. I think that was created like around the Civil War because of all the dead that they had. And I think like funeral practices, became like a really big thing.
The 1860s?
Something like that. Yeah.
We touched on
I
this.
don't know.
I know the Victorian episode. And I forgot when if anyone knows when the Civil War happened, please drop it in the chat so we can correct ourselves. I'm going to go with 1863 because that sounds right.
Yeah, it does. But that's what I think, like a bit like the funeral industry boomed in the US, but don't hold to me. I could just be very
That's
off.
Also when occultism boomed in the US because people wanted to talk to their loved ones.
Oh, wow. How fun.
They were using Ouija boards and everything's linked. Yeah. This is crazy. I love it. It's a big old circle. Mm-hmm. But they were horrified. Was she a vampire? Had she been taking the villagers one by one each night? Why were her fingernails and hair so much longer? It's like she had been growing them that entire time. But worse, why was there fresh blood inside of her?
No!
Yes. So there's no actual explanation of this, but what I'm assuming is when they went into the next part, they probably, when they're cutting her open, she started running blood. Like blood started pouring out of her, which
like fresh blood.
Mm-hmm. So if you've been dead for a long time and you're at the proper level of decomposition, you're not going to bleed that much. At that point, it's like coagulated, you know? Mm-hmm. So the fact that it was running blood kind of freaked them out because I guess that's something that they did know back then.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Dead bodies don't have like running blood. It's all coagulated. So
ew. Oh my God. Okay, so there's no decomposition. She's fresh blood. Oh my God. Her body
hair
and
her fingernails are growing. Yep.
Oh my God.
It's disgusting. So they're automatically assuming that she had to be the reason behind her brother's illness. So in their minds, she is digging up her own grave at night, going in, because vampires, the lore specifically states that as a vampire, you have to be let in. So what I'm assuming is her brother, or what they were thinking, this is very twisted, but what I'm thinking is that they're thinking that she's coming up out of the grave, going to her brother's window, knocking on the window, and in his delirium, he thinks that she's still alive because he is sick and lets her in, and then she sucks his blood. So, yeah.
Interesting. How interesting.
It's crazy. It's very cool. But let's see. So that's what they probably think was happening. Wow. But they needed to be sure. Dr. Metcalf disagreed and told them that considering she had only been dead 2 months and that she had only died in January and the winters in New England are feckin' cold, it makes sense why she wasn't completely decomposed. Like, I'm glad this guy had a wrinkly brain. Because I feel like he's the only one making sense here. But to the villagers, this man's science had done nothing for the Brown family. And that's when they decided to take matters into their own hands.
Oh, no.
Yes. So
oh, no.
They needed to get to work to save the rest of the Brown family.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. So as vampire superstition goes, they needed to remove the heart and liver and burn them in order to stop the bloodthirsty vampire. They removed Mercy's heart and burned it, and then they removed her liver and burned it, and they put the ashes in Edwin Brown's medicine, and he had to eat it. And that was supposed to cure him. Okay. Ultimately, it didn't work.
Oh, no!
He still fucking died.
Oh, my God.
Which is very unfortunate.
Well, then what did they think now? Oh, man.
I don't know.
All of that work.
I feel like at that point, you'd be like, just throw your hands up in the air. Like, what the fuck do I do now?
What do we do now?
Oh, my God. Like your one reasoning for this was that they were a vampire, and now that's gone. Like, how do you cope?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
And you made your son. Okay, first off, and like if you were like the father, you allowed people to dig up your dead family, burn the heart and liver of your dead daughter, and feed it to your son. Oh my god,
it's disgusting. Wow. I feel like if I were George Brown, I would feel, not to victim blame, I would feel so. I mean, he's dead. Who cares? But I would feel so guilty afterwards, like after Edwin died, because we mutilated my dead daughter because he straight up like ripped her heart out and her liver, which like, yeah, she doesn't need it anymore, but come on.
Yeah.
It's a dead body.
Let a girl live. Let a girl.
She's just trying to live her best life.
Yeah, she's just trying to live her best undead life. Just let a girl sleep. Like,
yeah. It's just so rude. It's like there's nothing to fear with vampires unless they're like from what's that one movie, Blade?
Oh, for sure. They suck.
I don't like those. They're kind of scary.
Yeah.
I want a Castlevania vampire. Those are nice.
Yeah, I'll take me a Walter or Bernhard if you know, okay, I'm a nerd. I like him. He's my favorite. No, I'm just kidding.
But what happened after this whole affair?
Yeah, what happened? What?
We don't know.
Who?
There's no further documentation of what happened to Mercy Brown or her corpse after she was exhumed and mutilated.
Or the Brown family? Like, that's it?
Or the Brown family. Yeah, like, I don't know if George lived or died. I tried searching for records, and, record keeping back then wasn't that great. So,
True.
Yeah. It's a grand old time. So,
oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah, the only thing we do know is the reasoning behind everything that happened. So, consumption was mostly an unknown disease back then, but today we know that it was tuberculosis, like you mentioned earlier.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So tuberculosis victims lost weight, they coughed up blood, they turned pale, and they did die a slow and painful death if not treated correctly, which almost correlates exactly to the consumption description and kind of has like a gray area with vampires.
Sure.
Because the more you suck the blood, like the sicklier, like you're basically draining the life out of them. Like that's what they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's medical practitioners at the time clearly didn't have the same information that we do now. So they didn't know how to treat and stop the spread of tuberculosis. Therefore, the disease ran wild. Which, if you think you have tuberculosis, go to your doctor. There's vaccines.
Yes.
You can be fixed.
It's still very contagious.
Still very contagious.
Don't do this to the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm not trying to live through this. I don't want my family being exhumed.
Heck yeah, man.
But when a society is afraid and unable to find an explanation for a weird phenomenon, they start to blame the supernatural. I mean, look at the Salem witch trials, right?
True.
The witch trials happened almost 200 years prior to this, which in the history of America isn't that long. Or I guess it is long in the history of America because America's only, 500 years old? No.
Well,
400. 300?
1776 is when we became a nation, I think. I do believe. Independence Day.
Okay.
But I mean, we've been colonizing it for a while.
300 years old? I can't do math. If someone can do math, drop it in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Shit. 300 years old. Yeah, so it's like 300 years old. So it's not that long ago, you know? And especially back then, that it's... I don't know.
Oh, it's just crazy that, that could happen not so long ago. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That's insane. Anyway, continue.
It's insane. Yeah, I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. But they were basically the same. They burned the witches in order to stop the spread of evil, devil-serving women. They believed that was the best thing at the time. And in Mercy Brown's case, the doctor's treatment clearly wasn't satisfactory. And in the eyes of the village, he wasn't doing anything to put a stop to this invisible illness or person. So they took matters into their own hands. That's basically what happened with the witch trials. In the witch trials, when one person starts spreading a rumor, it spreads like wildfire. Someone can say that Rachel here is talking in tongues. And, maybe she wasn't. Maybe she was just speaking her own language, and then people will assume that she's talking in tongues, and then they'll burn her to the stake. Witchcraft 101 for you guys. Or not witchcraft, Witch Trials 101 for you.
Oh, how fun.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how fun.
But here, they're thinking that all of these people are vampires. So they're taking the necessary measures to cure basically what was running rampant at that time, which they thought was a blood-sucking demon from the underworld, essentially. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's believed the practice of exhuming corpses and burning internal organs to kill a vampire was introduced by Eastern European healers. I need to swallow, and I'm going to reread that. It's believed the practice of exhuming corpses and burning internal organs to kill a vampire was introduced by Eastern European healers that were traveling through New England around the time. We can see that these traveling healers actually make an appearance in an article that was written in a Connecticut newspaper in 1784, stating that foreign quack doctors were passing through promoting the consumption ritual of exhuming bodies and burning organs after they had convinced the grieving father to exhume the bodies of his 2 dead children to perform the ritual.
Wow.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah, so these people came from Europe. They're basically, maybe they thought they were doing the right thing because maybe it worked in their country or in their countries. But it might have even just been 2 completely different scenarios. I feel like in order to fix the Black Plague, burning the bodies was probably better because you don't have that that airborne disease floating around. Once you burn the body, it's done. But with tuberculosis, it's unless you burn the whole body, it's not going to work. You can't just burn the organs. I don't know. Yeah. So, although the idea of vampires is pretty cool and hot, there's usually a good explanation behind the phenomenon. It's amazing to see how people's imaginations ran wild back then, and it's really cool to see how one disease can be personified in 2 different ways.
Yeah. So
the consumption outbreak through the Americas and Europe back then actually led to Bram Stoker's incredible, iconic masterpiece of a novel, Daddy Dracula. And
cool.
Yeah. And then Edgar Allan Poe's eerie Mask of the Red Death short story. So...
Oh, wow. I didn't know those 2 pieces were based on consumption, but no, it makes so much sense now.
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And then let's see. So we're wrapping it up here. Shortest episode I've ever written, you guys. You're welcome.
Oh, how fun. How fun.
But folklore is usually rooted in fact and fiction. So before we go and exhume more dead bodies, let's try to find a logical explanation first. Mercy Brown's exhumation is a perfect example of this. Ooh. Rather than doing good, they probably sped up Edwin Brown's death, considering that he consumed human ashes.
Yeah, it's true.
That can't possibly be good for you.
Yeah.
Also, that's disgusting. Imagine the taste.
Yeah, that poor guy.
Well, I mean, I guess to be disgusting for a second, she wasn't decomposed, so would her meat still taste sweet? Would the ashes taste sweet? Because I don't know. Don't ashes. Cannibals say that? I guess it would taste burnt, huh? It's not like they're giving him a chunk.
Yeah. Oh my God, could you imagine? They're whining
Here's
and
her
dining.
Toe. Just nibble around the toenail.
They have wines that they're pairing with her organs.
If you drink this nice white wine from 1762, it will really bring out the taste of the ash.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so all in all, the Victorian era was a weird time. And vampires are still alive and well today. Happy Halloween.
Oh, how fun. Oh, dude, that was so cool. Man, I didn't know there was a whole vampire outbreak and scare in the US.
I didn't know that either. Jacob told me about it because I was trying to figure out what to research for this episode. I was like, Do I want to do La Chupacabra or El Chupacabra? Because that's pretty cool. It's a really cool tale. Do I want to do... There's like a Colombian vampire, but I saw that Scared to Death just recently did an episode on her. So I was like, I don't want to do it too soon, I guess. Sure. And seem like I'm copying them because I'm not.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then there's like a Mexican tale too. But Jacob was like, you should look into the tuberculosis outbreak of 18 whatever. And I was like, all right.
Sure.
It was a wild ride.
Yeah. I also think it was a great way to like showcase how some like dramatic, intense event that no one can solve. People just start doing wild, crazy things just to try to resolve the issue, especially during like a pandemic or outbreak, like tuberculosis and even COVID.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When things aren't taken care of quickly enough and people just do what they can out of desperation,
people start to assume weird things. Like during the COVID outbreak, I know like one of the biggest things that a lot of people were stating would work was pine needle tea.
Oh,
stupid. I'm sorry
like
if
you
believe
remedy.
that. Yeah, no, stupid. You need a vaccine. But not to get political. But that wraps up my story. Do you have any thoughts or concerns?
Sure. No, that was a really cool story. I want to like deep dive more into it, and see like how far like the vampire like folklore spread in the US, especially if it went all the way to Ohio. And then you had people traveling around like the Eastern European folklore medicinal healers.
Yeah, the medicinal healer. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I wonder how, like if people took them as serious or like how far this actually spread. It's just crazy that there's a vampire epidemic. It's weird.
I never knew about this. What?
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
Man, I want to look into more vampires.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we'd love to do an episode, speaking of vampires, on Vlad the Impaler, or like the guy who is based on Dracula, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I started looking to him. Yeah, he's super gnarly.
The only thing I know about him, which is kind of sad considering he's kind of famous, is spikes. That's all I know about him, and that he was like kind of brutal, or really brutal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was his favorite form of execution. Was impalement. It's very fun.
Oh, Vlad the Impaler. That makes sense.
Excuse me. Yeah, but I will totally save that story for another day. Whew. Sorry, I drank my water wrong.
Did it go down the wrong pipe?
It did. Thank you. But thank you guys so much for listening to our creepy stories and wild speculations. This has been the Dark by Design podcast. Please go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, and follow for more monstrous episodes released every Monday at midnight. You can find more information about today's topic on the show's website, www.darkbydesignpodcast.com, or on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. What? TikTok at darkbydesign_podcast. Listen to us on your favorite podcast streaming site, or watch the show on our YouTube channel by searching for Dark by Design Podcast. And we want to hear from you too, because remember, this is a two-way relationship.
Oh, what is going on? Sorry.
Oh, you're okay. You're focused. No, it's all right.
There we go. Okay.
Come back. If you have any creepy encounters, ghost stories, or personal true crime stories that you would like to share with your fellow Coven members, go ahead and DM us on our socials or email us at darkbydesignpodcast@gmail.com. And we can hear you, and we'll make some listener episodes.
Yeah.
And share.
It's gonna be great. But as far as Twitch goes, I don't know when our next stream will be. Do we want to do it monthly? I don't know.
Possibly. Maybe do like one monthly stream where this is still very new to us. We're still figuring things out.
Clearly.
Getting like a good layout. No, you're good.
The 15 minutes of stream where I was silent.
We're completely muted. You know what? First time you don't succeed, try again. That's all that matters. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get another stream up sometime next month in November. and we'll have some new goodies for the stream.
Yeah, we absolutely will. But be sure to tune in next week for episode 17. We're gonna do something a little different from what we've been doing the past couple of months. So stay tuned.
Ooh, how fun. Oh, this is actually news to me too, unless you told me and I forgot because I have the memory of a goldfish.
Same.
Okay, cool. How exciting.
All right.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you next week for episode 17. And until then, be nice to yourself, be nice to other people.
And don't suck their blood.
Yeah, don't suck.
Don't suck. That's our message to you. Bye, friends.
Happy Halloween.
Shocking monster. Never have you known such cringing terror, such sudden shock.